Hey there everyone, this is Zach here. So, a general rule of nature as a human being is we all make mistakes. Stuff just happens and you've got to deal with it. Like sometimes you misjudge where you'll land on a banister, and then you find yourself in a pit of lava. Though because this is part of human nature, we've learned how to adapt to this reality. One of the best ways we do so is to learn from these mistakes and bounce back from them as best as we can. This is especially true in video games where you make all sorts of decisions when navigating the environment in one. For me, the game I'm definitely the best at when it comes to problem solving is Mario Kart Wii. I mean, it's the main online community I interact with, and I've been active in it for 11.5 years now. Through the sheer amount of experience I've had over time, I've learned how to navigate various situations on the fly due to the chaotic nature of the game. Today is going to be the first part of a series where I show how to recover from various situations, as well as how to avoid these scenarios from happening. These examples may range from how to do things optimally or just what's easy to do on the spot. I'll also be criticizing myself and what I could have done better in that situation. You may see other random stuff too that I find important to understand, just in case you find yourself going through a similar experience. The footage you'll see today is from an online session I did back in December of last year. In addition, since each race is from a custom track worldwide, you won't be seeing any footage from Nintendo tracks. So anytime I mention a track's name, it'll be a custom track. With that intro out of the way, let's get on with the video. Let's begin with one of the most common examples. I didn't wheelie, what do I do? For instance, on GBA Rainbow Road, I trick off this ramp. However, when I land, I end up bouncing right away. This causes me to not get my wheelie out. So to fix this, all I need to do is, well, wheelie as soon as I can. Once I get back onto the ground, I end up getting one out. This mistake was easily avoidable, however. What I did is I pulled down in the air, i.e. I held upwards on the joystick, which caused me to get a nosedive landing, and I ended up bouncing. This is because in Mario Kart Wii, trying to land on your front tire heavily increases the chances you'll bounce when you land on the ground. I also held left on the joystick for a bit, and this definitely influenced this bounce. What I should have done instead is pull back, i.e. hold down on the joystick. This means I would have landed on my back tire. If you land on your back tire instead, bad bounces are usually significantly less likely to happen. In fact, I went ahead and recreated this scenario. As you can see, there are two runs here. The ghost does what I did back in December, and the other run pulls back. By pulling back, I avoid the bad landing, get the wheelie out right away, and I didn't get stuck at under 100 kilometers per hour for a bit. And if you look, pulling back like this didn't give me a ton more airtime than going for a nosedive landing, and that's because this trick is so low to the ground that it doesn't matter in terms of airtime if you pull back or not. So you may as well do the much safer approach. I know I just spent quite a bit of time explaining this simple mistake, but this is one of the most common minor ones I see people do. They aren't aware that pulling back on small jumps like this is a much faster and safer technique that you can do than trying to risk a nosedive landing. Most commonly, this strategy is used with no flip trick ramps. That's because these types of ramps are the ones most likely to be low to the ground. You'll see this technique used all the time, even on Nintendo tracks, such as these pillar tricks with the world record on Dry Ruins. Next, let's look at how to steer clear of an easily avoidable obstacle. Later on with GBA Rainbow Road, there's this fireball that's on the ground sometimes. When I was taking this turn, I didn't expect it to be there. What I was hoping to do is release my mini turbo as soon as I'm roughly facing the trick ramp ahead. However, because the fireball was there, I instead have to hold my drift, and then once I'm good to clear past it, release my mini turbo, adjust my line a little bit to the left, and then once I'm facing the ramp ahead, do a wheelie. Like I said, this is an obstacle that you can easily avoid. However, I see so many people just hit this fireball online, and that's because they either autopilot and drive this turn like any other, or aren't aware of the fact that it's sometimes there. Moral of this story, understand the track and what obstacles there could be. You can easily avoid this fireball by taking the turn tight. If you take it too wide though, even if you're aware it's there, you may end up hitting it. One of the most common obstacles you'll have to watch out for is items on the ground. When I was racing on Slot Circuit here, the shot came here on lap 2. I go around this banana just because I didn't think I could go inside of it, though in hindsight, there definitely was enough room for me to do so. However, right up ahead, there's a banana that was dropped by Shane, the player in first. I am going to hit it if I keep on going forward, so what I do is I hop out of the way, get myself facing forward, and then re-wheelie. Very simple. People commonly hit items on the ground because they aren't looking ahead and constantly thinking something could be there. Having spatial awareness is key when playing online. Side note, later on that lap, I end up lag greening Shane after he got hit by a blue. He wasn't very happy with me after that. See Shane, I did go around you on purpose. I was being nice, the game's netcode just sucks. Another item in Mario Kart Wii you'll have to deal with is the POW block. If one comes by, you'll get this countdown timer where the screen will shake 3 times. When it does the 3rd time, you will spin out and lose any items you have, provided you weren't in the air, or in a star, mega mushroom, or bullet bill. In addition, once one hits you, it'll send you in the direction that you were facing until you stop spinning out. Since it forces you to go forward like this no matter what, one way people will use this item is to really screw people over on turns. Going back to that Slot Circuit race, I had a very brutal POW come by on this U-turn lap 2. Because this turn is so tight and I'll be in the middle of taking it, I'll end up hitting the fence if I continue drifting like normal. I don't want this to happen because it'll cause me to lose basically all of my speed. So what I end up doing instead is slow down and just drag myself around the turn. Yeah, as slow as this looks, it's better than hitting a wall, and that's because if I did, I'll have to accelerate from almost 0 km per hour or do a standstill mini turbo. Now during this recovery from the turn, something I was trying to do is start a drift. There's a couple of reasons for this. 1, if I get to mini turbo out, I can instantly gain more speed rather than slowly accelerate. And 2, it's better than using Flame Runner's regular handling stat outside of a drift. You either accelerate less quickly or end up losing speed if you turn this way. Unfortunately, I did not end up getting a drift here, and that's because I didn't have enough speed to start one. This meant I had to take the rest of the turn very slowly, though this might have been a good call anyway since I was kinda close to the edge, and successfully getting the drift out later may have sent me off the track. Though if you want to see a successful attempt at getting a drift out after slowing down so much on a turn, a POW came by earlier on lap 2, and I timed the hop correctly to where I got the drift to work. And that's gonna be it for this video. In this first part, I showed a lot of very simple examples, but these ones are some of the most common ones you'll have to face online. Even tiny mistakes like missing a wheelie can really add up combined with all the other failures that you end up making. All of these errors could end up costing you many spots in a race, so avoid as many as you can. There are so many more unique examples I can go for, and really, I could dissect this entire CTWW session and put out multiple hours of content explaining my decision making behind various things. I have tons of footage I've gathered throughout the years, so look forward to seeing more of it in the future. If you enjoyed watching today's video, please like it and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already to get more content like this. Thank you so much for watching everyone and have a great day.